All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Buckmasters Outdoor Podcast, where today we're going to be talking something a little bit different. Not necessarily, you can use this in the whitetail world, but it's something that's kind of waterfowl and upland bird hunting and so on and so forth. But we're going to be talking about shotguns today. To be specific, the Savage Renegauge. Kind of start this thing out. Let's go ahead and talk about our special guest we got on. One in particular, Allison, and Allison, I'm sorry. I've never really had to pronounce your last name.
This happens to everybody.
And I was sitting here and I was like,
fine.
oh my gosh. I was like, how do I say that? I've always just called you Allison. I mean, that's just been it.
It looks like it looks like Vogues, but it's Vogus.
Okay,
So
Voges. See, I
my
really would have
main name
messed
was
that up.
Hunter, and that was so much easier for people. But yeah, it's Vogus.
So Allison Voges, she's from Indiana, correct?
Yep.
And we go way back. We could go on a lot of catfish excursions. Her and my wife, we hit the water on from Alabama to Illinois to Tennessee, all over the place. We haven't done any hunts yet, but that would be something that's on the
No,
bucket
surprising.
list. But great,
For
great,
sure.
great lady. Happy to have her on. And kind of the reason she's on is just because of her, experience just with the Savage Renegauge. I mean, she was kind of one of the first ones that they helped, roll that out to, and she kind of uses it for all of her day-to-day hunting activities for the most part. If it's rabbits to squirrel to, I don't know, waterfowl, I've seen
Turkey,
you.
just about everything. Yeah.
Yep. But then we have another special guest, Megan Harten. Did I say that right?
You did.
Great, great. And Megan, it's the first time meeting you, and I know you work directly with Savage. That's correct?
I do. Yes, I am the marketing manager for Savage.
Good deal. That's awesome. Heck yeah. So we're happy to have you on, and hopefully, if there's any questions that come up, hopefully you can help answer those about the Savage Renegauge, and then just maybe even something about any of y'all's new releases or anything you might have going on or deals. Getting close to Christmas. It's kind of late, but we'll be releasing this episode before Christmas, but maybe it could be anything you have out there, deals or anything going on with Savage that's new releases people might want to get on order. But anyway, so Allison, can you break down a little bit about who you are? Allison Voges, but just talk about who you are. What's your day-to-day activities?
Sure. Okay. Well, hi guys. I'm Allison. Like Cody said, I grew up here in Southern Indiana. We're talking about Christmas. I'm actually right in Santa Claus, Indiana. So, born and raised in this area. I do lawn care here, actually. So my husband and I have a lawn care business, and that's a lot of my day to day. I'm outdoors either with that or hunting or fishing or, catching catfish with Cody and Lissa. But yeah, I grew up hunting with my dad here. We didn't really do mainly a lot of quail hunting. That's kind of how I grew up. We always had bird dogs, and I'd follow my dad around. I usually jumped the birds. That was my main position. I didn't really take a gun. I just went along for fun. Yeah, so from there it kind of has progressed into what it is today. We hunt a little bit of everything. But yeah, I was fortunate. After you mentioned the Renegade, I was fortunate enough to be invited by Savage here a couple of years ago when they launched the Renegade. And we had a great hunt in North Dakota. It's the first time I met Megan. So.
Yeah. We did. We had a great
that's a little about me. Oh, and I also write children's books about hunting. I gotta throw that in there.
Yes, there's so much you're missing. You seriously are a jack of all trades. You got a lot of stuff that you're missing. You don't give yourself credit for. You got write books. I know our daughter Addie, she's got 2 or 3 of them, and she loves them. We have to read them all the time. Seriously. But
She's
yeah, those
so
are pretty cool. You have your own. I don't know if I didn't hear you mention it, but you've got your own podcast that you do, and you've got a lot of irons in the fire, and you don't mention that.
I do right now. I kind of forget.
And what about
Josh Carney and I have our Son of the South podcast, so I'll throw that in there too.
Yeah, and and I can put a link in that. And anybody wants to listen to that, but you also have a son, Sway,
Yes.
and
Right.
Sway's getting into the outdoor world with you and hunting and fishing. And I love seeing y'all stuff that y'all post on there. And I don't know, how does he feel about hunting?
He's ate up. So he kind of started, I've been taking him hunting with me since, he was pretty little, especially dove hunting. He loved being my retriever.
Yeah.
So that's kind of progressed into, this year he turned 7. And we decided that it was finally his turn. Actually, this past Christmas, Santa brought him he brought him his 410 thumb hole from Savage, and that gun has just been killed his first bird, and I'm telling you, that was probably the greatest hunt of my life.
Yeah, I believe it. I
Yeah.
can't wait to experience that stuff with my kids. And, we got another little boy on the way now. So that's a little girl and little boy. It goes by
I'm
so
excited.
quick though. It's like, seriously, I mean, I remember
Yeah.
Sway was just I was getting y'all's little Christmas cards, of
Yeah.
him just being a little bitty thing. And then now you're getting
He's
to where
almost
those,
he's into my shoulder now.
yeah,
Yeah, he's getting tall.
he
But
is.
they do, you're right, it goes by fast. Same for Addie. Like
Soak it up and
she's
enjoy it. Um,
amazing.
But yeah, that's me about these podcasts. I get on little tangents and I get to talking, and I realize people don't want to hear about that. They want to hear about the Savage Renegauge when they're on
Oh,
here.
I
So
disagree. I think they love hearing about all that stuff. It's
um
exciting.
it is, but that's good. It's good. Miss Megan,
Yeah,
you mind sharing a little bit about who you are and where you from and what's your
sure.
outdoor activities and life?
Sure. Like I said before, I'm Megan Harten and I am the marketing manager for Savage. Um, I've been with Savage now since 2019. So it's been good. Actually, I think one of the first projects I worked on was launching Renegauge, and met Allison, and we got to hunt a few days together and create a bunch of content, and it was a good deal. But I grew up in the outdoors. I loved being outside and just doing all the activities, but really didn't get into hunting until kind of later on, after I met my husband. He's a big waterfowler, so just kind of picked up from there, just loved it. So I guess we've been together now quite a few years, but most of that time has been spent out in the duck blind.
And that's so, and I
Hunting
like,
pheasants or turkeys or anything like that. So
I commend you for that. Like my wife, like, I don't know, I give and take, for her. I'll be honest, going to Target and TJ Maxx does nothing for me, but I do it for her and I give and take. But for you ladies, seriously, to change y'all's lifestyle, because like my wife was the same way. I do commend y'all for that, because being somebody who wasn't like my wife was never raised in it. She was at the end of a cul-de-sac. She grew up. She had friends. She just rode her little scooter and stuff, and that was it. Like she didn't hunt. She didn't fish. She didn't do nothing. And for y'all to like, I mean, y'all just took it and made it, and like now you're doing it with your spouse. I commend that. That is good.
yeah,
I love hearing those stories.
I grew up running around doing all sorts of stuff out in the country, but fishing was another big thing for my family. So
Yeah.
but yeah, so now we have a little girl and we get her out when we can, when it's still a little warm out.
Yeah.
She just loves it. She loves learning about ducks and identifying ducks, and yeah, it's something
That's cool.
just wonderful to keep passing on. So
That is cool.
That's a hard thing about waterfowl too, is I've learned like there's so many different kinds of ducks. It's such a and I've basically gotten into waterfowl hunting because of Savage and them bringing me in. I had gone on maybe 2 other waterfowl hunts before we went to North Dakota. And so it's like I've learned and picked up so many things just from that experience and from our trip to Canada. But yeah, just one being that the amount of ducks and waterfowl out there and they're different, the different breeds and things, it's intense. It's a
Yeah.
lot to learn. And
Yeah.
I think it's just incredible. People kind of like, they collect them, really. It's so
Yeah.
different from any other style of hunt, honestly. It's
like a
it's
treasure. It's
addicting.
like I don't know.
Yes.
The think about the thought of a bird traveling that far, in that short period of time, like to me, that's the intriguing part about it. And even like turkey, I mean, they're just so it's not like a whitetail in the sense of, they're out there and they're reproducing, they're there. And I mean, everything's against these birds. And like, I mean, you have diseases, you have hunters, and the whole thing is growing so much, but a little bit about both of those ladies, and I think that's a good layout of that. So, kind of get into the main body of this podcast, which is that Savage Renegauge. One question, Megan, I'm just curious. I've never, whenever you guys launched this, I always ask myself, but why Savage? Why did y'all release it? So I don't know, I won't say late in the game, but why? I guess y'all specialized in rifles, and that's what just Savage is known for.
Yes.
But what made y'all to want to, hey, let's get a shotgun out there?
I mean, it was just another area of the market that we could do, and we knew we could do it well,
Yeah.
and produce a good shotgun for people.
Yeah, y'all did that.
Why not?
I know y'all did that, and it's a sweet shooting thing. And I mean, y'all got 6 different categories, and I mean, or 6 different series of shotguns when it comes to the Renegauge. And I mean, if you break them down, I mean, like we know, and they're not just significantly different. When you look at the difference in the competition shooter versus the field or versus the bottomland, I mean, there's differences in there, but I mean, you mind maybe breaking that down a little bit and kind of telling audience about it?
So we've got two turkey models, and one has an obsession camo, the other one is a bottomland camo, and those will come with a 24 or 26-inch barrel. But other than that, all the internal mechanics are all the same as what you would find in the field, the waterfowl, or the prairie versions. Those are all just kind of different camos. The field version is just our black gray color.
Yeah,
but otherwise everything is still with the drive gas system. The security model that we have has an extended mag tube on it, and is a 6-in-1 for that one. And then the competition, which I think you made a comment on right before we started, just looks pretty cool. It's got the red and the black. That has a 9-in-1 and is primarily used for
there.
gun.
And first, I will say, and I'm going to put within the body, obviously, too, a link to y'all's website, but y'all's website is killer. I mean, the way y'all have this laid out, I was looking at it. First time I'm getting on my phone, but it's pretty easy to navigate through on your laptop, but also your phone, but also breaks down each and every, series of these guns. I mean, it's really cool to see. But yes, competition is bad, and the security is something that I think I might need to add to my gun safe. But I think me and my wife, we have the field and we love it. Allison, which one do you have?
I have the waterfowl.
The waterfowl
Version, yep.
Yeah.
It's close to my heart.
Yeah, they're sweet. I love them. They're really good models. But kind of breaking down into, the common consumer in the South, I mean, if there's a consumer who's wanting to do a dual hunt, I mean, he's hunting rabbit, he's hunting turkey, or they're hunting rabbit, turkey, squirrel. Which one would you recommend, Megan?
I mean, that's really your preference. A lot of those people, might want to, if you're hunting turkey, they might want that shorter 24-inch barrel, but you don't necessarily have to have that for turkeys. I guess myself, I went with the 28-inch field version.
Yep.
And I've shot a number of things with that, from
Yep.
pheasants to turkeys to lots of waterfowl. So it all just kind of depends on your preference. And I think we have enough options for you to be able to choose what best fits.
Yep, I agree with that. Me and my wife have field, that's exactly the 28-inch. That's the one we have, and we've killed a lot of, or harvested a lot of things with it, from rabbit to squirrel and the whole nine. Allison, I know you've gone on a lot of hunts with it. I mean, what's your most memorable hunt with it?
Oh my gosh. Well, I have to say that's definitely whenever I went to Canada with Savage on a mentor hunt. We were able to take a friend, and I mentored my friend Olivia, who had never gone on a waterfowl hunt. So not only was it cool from that aspect that she had never hunted waterfowl, but to go to like the epitome, like the best place to, for that type of hunt was just epic. Just seeing her face when all the birds came, and it was incredible. And they have just a little bit of everything there. We had like snow geese, Canadian geese, like all different types of ducks. It was incredible. I hope I get to experience that again someday, but it's a hunt I definitely won't ever forget. And we saw the Northern Lights, and it was.
I remember watching some of that footage that came back, and I think one of the guides was like, we got a whole, you could hear him, in the background, we got a whole bunch of girls here, and they're setting out, the layout blinds and everything. And then, as the, film kind of keeps going, they're like just cheering at all these girls having just a blast, and just, stuff's falling. And you guys look like
we were dropping them too. I think we surprised the guy. Actually, one of them made a comment because he was like, you shoot better than half the men who come out here. And I was like,
Yes. That's
proud moment.
That's something that I love seeing more of too. Like, I love seeing groups of ladies get together. And Allison, you're one of the, I guess, omegas of that. I mean, you have put together some really good girl groups, I guess we'd call them. And I mean, y'all do annual hunts and fishing trips from Noodling. I know y'all do some turkey too, right? And just different things.
We do a big snow goose hunt in Arkansas. With the American Daughters of Conservation. That's kind of the organization I'm with. I'm the Indiana chapter president for us here, but we do it's like, it's hard for women to get together. I mean, you grew up, you probably have like, your guy friend. I know my husband does. He's got his group of guys, which every year they do a deer camp, and they have all these opportunities. They go fishing up on like in Michigan and different things like that. And those are just guys he grew up with, but I wasn't that luck. I mean, I have my family, I have his family, but as far as women who hunt in the outdoors, you kind of got to search for them. You kind of got to reach out there. And so this was one organization I found that kind of just brought, a whole bunch of girls together, both locally. And then I've met some amazing women like across the US too, who are willing to travel to come, just get together for a clay shoot even, or like put and take pheasant hunt. We got lots of girls who come in we do that in Indiana every year, and it's a good time. But it's really important too.
I think social media has helped that too tremendously.
Absolutely.
You girls, everybody can connect on just boom at your fingertips, and you can share your hunts and your memories and all that. But that is awesome to see women in the outdoors, and it really is cool to see it all. I mean, unfold how hunting in the outdoor industry has kind of evolved. I mean, it used to be just men. They went out and hunt and killed a deer or harvested a deer or animal and brought it to their wife, and they, and then now it's like you've so many hunts. And even, I mean, my wife, a lot of women out there capable of doing it. And I, again, commend ladies for this, but go out and you're able to hang your stand, do your food plot, target practice your gun, practice your bow, and then you go out and you actually connect on an animal, and then you can clean the animal, and then you I mean, it's significant to say. I mean, because 20 years ago, that was not a thing. I mean, there was people that was still doing it, but I mean, it's just seeing that evolve is pretty cool to see. I mean, it's neat.
It's more common now for sure. It's not as surprising when you see it.
Yeah.
I mean, you still get comments. I'm sure Megan gets comments and people, you still get comments from guys every once in a while, like, were you hunting by yourself? Or,
Yeah.
just things like, or you'll be wearing camo. I'll go into a gas station. They'll be like, so were you hunting? Like their question, or am I just wearing camo for fun? I get that kind of thing
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I love that it is more of a common thing, and definitely social media is a great way for women to get together now. Cause I'm a part of all these different groups, like different forums online, and girls will come in and they'll be like, hey, I have a question about this, where they're not as comfortable maybe asking a man, or just going and posting on their page because they don't want to feel stupid. So it's a safe space for them to go and ask these questions to where they know they're not going to be treated like an idiot, and they're going to be
Yeah.
answered honestly. So it's
And then
definitely a plus.
role models for the younger generation. That's just another thing that is good to see that, because I mean, y'all are setting great examples for the younger generation, for even young little boys. I mean, they see that type of, camaraderie ship, I guess I'm what I'm trying to say. But it's just cool. It's neat to see. So down here, Megan, there's a lot of rabbit hunting. I don't know, is there a lot of rabbit hunting up there where you're at, Allison, and where
There
you're at,
is.
Megan?
It's something I have not done.
Really?
There
Come
is.
visit me, Megan.
Yeah.
And when a rabbit is just absolute hauling it down here in the south, and is thick cut over, growed up pasture. And I mean, you need something that's quick, fast, lightweight. Renegauge got you covered. Seriously, the field is one we've had, and I've gone on some rabbit hunts with it, and it's really sweet. But not only that, you can take it from there. You can take it like Allison does. You can shoot quail with it. Then you can go shoot one evening, shoot a mess of squirrels. It's really, really neat, the lightweight. And another thing I don't think we've even mentioned, but Megan is completely made in America.
It is. It is. Yes.
I mean, that's like
in Massachusetts.
That's the number one reason that, you need a Renegauge in your life.
Yep.
I mean, supporting that. I mean, that is awesome to see that too. I know we had just a couple weeks ago, it seems like longer, but we had Beth Shemansky with you guys on. She was on one of our podcasts. We talked about the Savage 110 and kind of the versatility of that and that rifle. And but we talked a little bit too about the heat that you guys take, social media wise, and then just in this industry, just trying to just sell a rifle or a shotgun. It's just getting harder and harder. So the support for any of that, especially an American-made firearm, shotgun, or whatever it may be, you can. I totally support that and stand behind that here at Buckmasters, but for sure.
That's awesome.
So anything else that is out there, Miss Megan, that's kind of new releases is coming out? I know I was pilfering through social media this morning, and I think I saw a bipod on there.
I do. Yeah.
So that
we launched the Savage bipod and the Savage AccuCan on the same day. So we have 3 versions of an AccuCan now. So a suppressor. Yep. But that was kind of big news. I mean, we've having a number of product launches so far this year, with a few more coming. But you'll have to stay tuned for those.
Yeah, the bipod.
It was good.
A bipod. I was looking at it this morning, and I was like, I've got to ask her about that, because it's sleek, small, just it's perfect on the end of your gun. It just seems like it would be. It doesn't have any extracting. It's just fixed.
Yep.
Little bipod.
Yep.
And then y'all new suppressors. That's something that I know me and my wife are really neat, because when we go on thermal hunts at night, we might crack 10 to 15 rounds off at a group of pigs, and after that you can't hear a thing.
Yeah.
So those are really sweet too.
Yeah.
Well, good deal. That's awesome. Y'all going to ATA this year, or SHOT Show?
SHOT Show, yes. Yep. We'll be there. So make sure to swing by the booth. We'll have all of this on display to check out. So
yeah. how are y'all coming with all the trade shows and stuff? I mean, have y'all kind of narrowed down the shows? I know a lot of companies are kind of pulling out of some of them and either going to the local kind of the World Deer Expo or, the Buckmasters Expo, or just
Sure.
going to these SHOT Show. Just they pick one or two.
Yeah, no, we still are doing a handful of shows. That's all kind of in the works right now of who is going and when they are, and all that, booking the travel and everything. But yeah, and what guns are going, and just lots of planning
Yes.
goes into it. But we are still planning to be at a good number of shows this year.
Good deal. Good deal. See that people can see y'all there. Well, I guess if there's any other questions about the Renegauge, I'm trying to cover anything and everything else. Is there anything else, Allison, that you can point out about the Savage Renegauge that you would kind of tell the audience that that's the reason you need it?
Well, we kind of, covered. I do use it for just about all of my hunts, anything from dove to, like you said, rabbit. It's a great rabbit gun. It's a great wing shooter. But not only that, so I did a clay shoot a couple months ago. I was on a team for Habitat for Humanity. It was a fundraiser. And that was my first one ever. I can't say that I didn't think I was very good at shooting clays. I'm like, I can drop a bird easy, but for some reason, clays always want to get me. Well, they have like 10 stations. I put 100 rounds through this Renegade. And not only did I beat a few of the guys on my team, but we were the #1 team that day, or we tied for first place in that team. So like I shot well, it felt good. That's the thing about this firearm is like I shoot it well. It is consistent. And not only did I put 100 rounds through this thing, but everybody was complaining about their shoulder being sore.
Yeah.
The recoil, I don't even notice. I don't
Yeah.
notice it. Just the padding on it, I don't know how to explain it, and you can kind of, I don't know if Megan mentioned this, I don't remember, but you can tailor it to the shooter. So that's the great thing about lots of these Savage models is the adjustability for it to just fit it to yourself personally.
Yeah.
That I feel like lots of other models don't really offer that. So,
Yeah.
I feel like the shotgun was made for me. I won't, like Blake will try to steal it sometimes, but I'm like, no, this is my gun.
Yeah, yeah, it's
I just love
definitely
it.
something that you can comfortably shoot all day. The drive gas system just cuts so much recoil. I guess personally, I feel like I'm shooting a 20 gauge. There's just nothing to it. And you can just shoot and shoot. But I was on a trap team a few years ago, and got my Renegauge, and I was like, well, I'm gonna take this and just put some rounds through it, pre-season, that kind of thing. And I remember like walking up to the line, and there's some gentleman there being like, well, why do you have that? Why don't you have like your over under? Why this? Why that? And I was like, well, I'm just practicing pulling up, shooting, finding my target, swinging, all of it. And so like Allison said, it's something that you can use for just about anything.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, even whitetail, I mean, you can, I know you can up to, I think ours only takes up to 3-inch, correct? The
3-inch.
field. Yes, that's right. But anyway, you can put buckshot through it too. I mean, that's the neat thing about it. We've taken ours on some, I have some dog running clubs down here, and I don't know how some people are fond of that, but down here in the South, it still is a heritage and kind of growing. It's still thriving. But we went on one of those dog hunts with that it was pretty fun to take. But no, I think that covers about everything we can on it. And anything else, Megan, you think of?
I mean, I don't know. Allison, I guess.
Well, I just
Like,
want to invite
what
both
is,
of y'all here for a rabbit hunt. I'm just throwing that out
I'm
there.
down.
Cody, I know it's a haul for you and it is for Megan too, but
I'm down.
I mean,
come on, y'all.
I'll probably take you up on it.
Cody, you got to bring lists though too.
I'm
So I need to
down.
see his
The
face.
biggest thing here in the next couple months and then into the next year is going to be just time. I don't know. Just with the new baby coming in next summer, it's going to be a lot of stuff. but I definitely want to take you up on that. And I know we're going to do our annual noodling trip. So Alyssa,
We
she's
gotta. I
gonna.
asked Blake for boxes for Christmas. He was like, "What do you want for Christmas?" I want some catfish boxes to take down to Alabama.
Yeah, she. I don't know if I'm supposed to say, but I know that he reached out to Alyssa about that. It was like, how do I build them?
I
What
got my
size?
fingers crossed.
What size? Oh, he's gonna. Poor thing. You've got him doing things he never.
He doesn't like it. I've taken him. He
Yeah,
doesn't like it, but he'll do it. He's like, I know this is going on 5 years now. He's like, all right, well, I guess this is something she's just gonna keep doing. So,
yeah. I just gotta
and
do
Sway
it.
loves it. Sway loves it too. But
That's real love right there. But yeah, Alyssa's gonna be, let's see, she'll be expecting in end of June. So that's peak noodling season, Allison.
that's
That means
right.
that's more fish
I'll
for
get
you
some
and
baby
me.
snuggles. I'll get baby snuggles and catfish snuggles.
Yep, I'm down. I'm ready. And Megan, extend the invite to you. You're always welcome to. But
We tried to get Beth out here, but
I
we told Beth
know.
she's going.
I could so see Beth catching a catfish. I could really
Oh,
mean,
see
I
that.
can.
She's a great swimmer. She can hold her breath. I think she'd be good at it. You just gotta get her down there.
Yeah, she don't seem like she's scared of anything. I mean,
No.
she seriously like would face an elephant straight on and be like,
She probably would.
yeah. Well, good deal. We appreciate it, ladies. I think that is all, and that concludes this podcast. I'm going to put some links in the description here for the Savage Renegauge, and then also maybe a link or two for Allison to her podcast that she has going on, so y'all can give that a listen. But yeah, that concludes it, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. And any questions, again, put them in, let me ask them, and we'll answer them. So we appreciate it. Thank you, ladies, and that'll be it.
Thanks, Cody.
Thank you.
See y'all.
Merry Christmas.